Hello there, my beautiful students, as well as the few of you who actually enjoy watching my videos. This is Lady Silvervixen coming back at you again for another round. What we're going to cover today is a few questions. Do I need to find a coven? What is an initiation? Do I have to have one? What about a dedication, and what is a dedication? And if there's time, we'll go over the pentagram. Okay? Alright, so let's get started. Do I need to find a coven? The answer to this is no, it is not necessary. Okay? You don't have to find a coven. Some people work well in groups, some are better solitary and working by themselves. It's really up to you. Don't feel that in order to be a real witch, you need to be part of a coven, because it's not absolutely necessary. Some find that the political power struggles that go on in most covens to be too much of a distraction from the purpose of a coven to work together. A person new to the group might be intimidated by the leaders and not follow his or her own feelings as to what is best. Feelings are important. You must do what you feel is the right thing for a particular situation. Trust yourself and your abilities. The next question was, what is it about an initiation? An initiation is used to mark one as a recognized part of a group. It means that the person has the intention of following the path chosen. Each Wiccan tradition has its own ceremony. In these traditions, you are only recognized as Wiccan if you have undergone such a ceremony. These rites are usually secret. It is not necessary to have been initiated to be Wiccan. The ceremonies performed by the different traditions are important in the traditions themselves, but real initiation comes from inside. It is not just ceremonial. What basically that's saying is that it's your one-on-one. It's your personal time with the goddess. You will know when you've been initiated. You'll feel it. Let's see. When you see beauty in clouds drifting by, when you feel excitement and wonder in seeing a flock of birds wheeling overhead, when you feel the magic in the air, when trees fill out in spring, you are truly Wiccan. Wicca is a way of life, living in harmony with nature, feeling the change of seasons and celebrating nature. The ceremony is that, unless you feel it inside. An initiation is an experience that is felt deep. It is not necessary for a high priestess or priest to stand over you. Each one of us is our own priest or priestess. If you feel the need to express yourself in ceremony, you can perform a self-initiation. Even though it is not performed in a coven, it is still important to take this seriously. This is not a game. This is a serious comment on the part of the initiate to learn all he or she can about the chosen path. Wiccans may use magic, but that is not all there is to Wicca. It is learning all you can about this earth we live on. Respect it for what it is, learn the cycles of life, and celebrate the magic that is all around us. Now the next question is, what is a dedication? The dedication of a witch is when you accept the craft as the path to follow. You promise to learn all things necessary. You will stick to your vow even if the going gets tough. The traditional time period is a year and a day. You will then have seen the progression of a complete circle of seasons, called the Wheel of the Year. In a coven, they will teach and have a reading list. Solitary is what it is. Sometimes it can be very rough and confusing, but stick to it. That is why it is called a dedication. There are many books out there. Some will say that you can't learn everything from books. That may be true in some cases. You learn by doing. Taking spells, for instance, just because a spell is passed down does not mean it will work for you. If you put your time and energy to building your own spells, it is more likely to work because it is your own. Your energy is running through it, not somebody else's. Now then, we are only at 4 minutes and 38 seconds, so I'm going to do a brief thing on the pentagram. What is an open pentagram? A pentagram may be open, without a surrounding circle. This is the active form, symbolizing an outgoing of oneself, preparing for conflict, aware, active. As a pagan religious symbol, the open pentagram represents an open, active approach. Now, a closed pentagram, or one that has a circle around it, it contains and protects. The circle symbolizes eternity and infinity, the cycles of life and nature. The circled pentagram is the passive form, implying spiritual containment of the magic circle and the individual nature of the pagan religious path. Okay? Now, this is going to be the big one. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments on this one, but I'm going to cover the inverted pentagram from a pagan perspective. The implication of inversion of a pentagram is the spirit is subservient to matter, man subservient to his carnal desires. It has come to represent the dark side and is considered a symbol of evil by Christians. In the 1940s, Gerald Gardner adopted the inverted pentagram as a symbol of second-degree initiation in the newly emergent neo-pagan rituals in what was to become Wicca. It represents the need of the witch to learn to face the darkness within, so it will not rise to take control. First degree uses a downward pointing triangle, third degree uses one point up pentagram together with an upright triangle. I'm going to put this in on my own here. An inverted pentagram to me is actually commonly used, at least in my practices, as a banishing. Okay? It's not just a matter of which direction I'm casting the circle, but it's also a matter of which direction the pentagram lies. Excuse me. I'm going to cover briefly just a few other things. I'll go into real in depth on the pentagram in a little while. I'm going to cover what is a Book of Shadows. This was one of the most common questions that's sent to me through emails, text messages, the whole 9 yards. What is a Book of Shadows? It is a place to keep information that has been learned. It can be anything from a spiral notebook to a fancy leather-bound book. It is, in it is placed everything the person feels should be there. Answers to questions, candle and or moon magic, witchcraft history, herbal information, spells, basically whatever you feel needs to go in there. Let's see. I think that a Book of Shadows is more classified really as a book of enlightenment, because as you're going along in your path, you become enlightened. All that information that is enlightening you is going into that book, thus becoming the Book of Enlightenment. It is thought to have more power if it is handwritten, but now you've got the techno witches who love computers. I'm guilty of that. These days it is hard to find the time. Some Wiccans now have a disc of shadows. It is easier to read, and some type faster than they write. So you're going to have those few out there. I know there's a couple of you watching this that are guilty of that, where you have typed up everything instead of writing it all out. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for now, that's all I'm going to cover. In the next one, I'm going to cover why a pentagram and the history of the pentagram. So until then, this is Lady Silvervixen signing off. You all have a very blessed day, and I will see you next time.